we know between us what it's been like trying to communicate with one another for the last 2 years since we met. I'm like, let's just start there. Let's just talk about communicating with one another, and we can then include that in that, what it's been like for us communicating with our homies and just people talking in general when it comes to black men communicating, because we don't do it openly and people don't understand it. So we're called savages or whatnot. I just wanted to say, we should start there, unless y'all have a better idea.
When we talked about communicating with each other, man, there's a lot that go into that. So there's a lot of stories that's going to be pulled from that. So there's going to be a lot of content in the middle of how we even came about to start communicating with each other these last 2 years.
And that's what makes great podcasts. That's my point. You're right. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be organic to, like, when I was thinking about, my whole point, Tim, is because I was thinking about, can we even actually put together a dad type episode? There's no way. There's no way we put together one episode that talks about how we all came to be in this point. It's going to come out in every conversation we have somehow, some way. Yeah. The way we came up in this world.
I don't even think we can even do a show just about
That's
that guy.
That's my point.
Every time we say anything, it's always something that's brought up. So, people can get bits and pieces from that story because it's a crazy story. This story is so crazy. It makes for a good story, but at the same time, nobody want to hear that. And even if nobody wants to hear it, do we want to talk about it? Is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Do we want to bring light on how messed up this guy was and how he did his kids? And all of us, none of us is that same person that he is. I don't want to shine a light on the guy. Then we have to say his name. We can call him a different name.
That's an actual
good point. We can call him like Mr. X or something like that.
Hold on, back to the communication thing. So I think that we're trying to put too much into our sessions. You know what I mean? I think we're trying to drag them out a little bit. And when we thinking about the communication, like, there's so many different avenues of communication, so many different realms, so many different, subject matters or topics or what have you. So how about if we just simplify it and what communication means to each one of us, and I think just on a spinoff of that, we can get a good 15 minutes to a half an hour, just, if each person goes, 5 minutes, you got 5 minutes. Hey, what does communication mean to you? All three of us have got different, ideology on communication, on everything.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be wonderful just to get our different perspectives, and maybe through that more content will be born. You know what I mean? More, we'll be planting seeds for, other conversations to spawn. So,
if we do these type of shows, that show how authentic we is. That shows our mindset, our skill set of us being able to sit and have a conversation like that, and just to do it off the top of our head. If we don't work hard at this and get burned out, then we're not doing nothing. Let me ask y'all both something, man. Like KC, like your daughter, and Tiger, your wife. Like, what do they think about what they didn't see so far?
You know what, man? I didn't even share it with nobody. You know what I mean? I haven't shared it with anyone. Nobody
shocked.
Nobody shocked. Nobody knows what I'm doing right now at all.
Except his mother.
Yeah, my mom knows.
Really?
And his daughter.
They think I'm over here trying to rap. You know what I mean? That's what they think. And I just I never changed their mind. You know what I mean? And when I get something that I think is, you know what I mean, I guess, worthy for them to see, you know what I mean?
Bro, when is that gonna be? Because that show was good. You read everything. You was professional about it. So you sounded good. Yep. Everything was good. Why are you ashamed to share that with somebody? Is you think that they're going to, because my thing, I was scared that I was going to look like a fool. But now I done been on that camera a few times. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? It's about me perfecting what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And if man, my kids, my girl, everybody was supportive. Like, hey, man, it's good you did. I shared it with everybody on my phone because I don't got Facebook or social media and nothing like that. So I shared it with everybody on my phone, and I told them to share it to Facebook. And I didn't even care if I looked as stupid or not. You know, if somebody if I look stupid, I'd rather somebody I love tell me I look stupid. And I didn't get that from nobody. Everybody, hey man, I'm proud of what you doing, man. Keep doing that. And, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the age we living in. You know, if I'm not saying, you know, if we start and this thing just blow up all of a sudden, man, you're going to be a total different person. You know what I'm saying? So why not start right now and be proud of what you're learning to do? Because we're learning. Nobody's perfect. We're learning. So if you feel like you or can't take what you think somebody's going to say, you're probably wrong because they're not even probably going to say what you think they're going to say.
Yeah, man, that's some good stuff. But, yeah, I don't care what nobody thinks. Pretty much ever. Uh-huh. You know, I'm my
so
biggest...
Why you ain't show the missions?
I'm my biggest critic, man. I'm my biggest critic. You know what I'm saying?
And I see that.
So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? The person, when I look myself in the mirror at the end of the evening, you know what I mean? I want to be sure. I want to be thorough and know that, you know what I mean? I put forth my best foot on everything that I've done. I don't want to half step at nothing. And I don't want to give a half of a presentation or a half of an effort in anything and present it with, you know what I'm saying, my endorsement. You know what I mean? When I put out...
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What if your wife sees it and then be mad at you, just like, why you didn't share this with me? Because it's out there. It ain't like nobody can't see it, man. Like, it's out there.
Right.
You feel me? It is so out there, like... So, I mean, you know, why not just like, hey, man, watch this with me real quick. Put it on the tube and, like, give me your honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, man, you look good, bro. You look good.
I mean, right
you
now.
sounded good. You was professional.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
it. So, I mean, why is you not, going home and being excited about what you're doing? You could be doing other things.
Yeah, man, you're right. At this point, I just don't even know if that's, you know what I mean, if that's the motivation that you know, I'll get my push from. I think my push
sounds like a little bit of Howard Hughes like to me.
And I bet, you've heard of that before, right?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Can I get in real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Just because, Timmy, you right, okay? But I want to say from my point of view, because this is what I have put a lot into in the last 2 months. I'm proud of both of you, for sure. We went in the last 2 years to not really progressing this relationship. And in the last couple months, Timmy has said things to me a lot about wanting to communicate. And I know how you are when it comes to communicating. I know when he's asking these questions, I'm thinking answers in my head that I'm not even hearing you say, but I know you. And I know that when it comes to your communication, how you want it to be so perfect and precise. And I feel we all have this exact same trait in common.
Yes, we do.
It has to be the best of the best of the best before I feel that I'm about to put my stamp on this and let anybody deal with it, right? That's why when it comes to my creative process,
right,
me and my daughter have been having issues all week. We're about to have issues probably this week because what happened last Sunday, right? So this happened last Sunday, fellas. We shoot all this Friday night. I felt good. I felt really good, right?
Pumped up,
only
happy.
thing, yes, we shoot the show last Friday night, right? When y'all leave, I ended up going and finding how much corrupted footage there was, and it broke me. I didn't want to admit it to you guys. I felt so horrible about what I wasn't seeing and finding, right? And then come Saturday, I lose the first ring my daughter ever bought for me. She bought it for me in Texas, and I go to Tigers and I lose it. And by Sunday morning, I'm just all kinds of messed up because I got footage missing. I know I got to figure that out, but I want to start working on this show because I knew I was so proud of what we did Friday. So what happened was, come Sunday, I wake up and I start just processing footage. And eventually my daughter ends up coming around and she's sitting on the couch right there. And I'm working. Headphones are on. I'm going through all footage. I'm just processing, trying to get stuff together. She wants me to stop so that we can watch TV together, talk, do whatever. And I can't. I just can't. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. And she got an attitude, and I got an attitude. And then we argued, and then I told her to leave so I could stay up, and I stayed up all night Sunday working.
So you and CC had problems because what? You never finished. That was the beginning of the topic. You said y'all were going to have more problems.
He finished.
Yeah, no, I did finish.
So you're going to have more problems this week.
Oh, no, because.
Nah, he ain't finished.
No, I'm not finished. Okay, I didn't finish. Because my life has been spent in activism. And I'm not sure if maybe she's having flashbacks, but there were times I'm in New York City. We are putting together a major event, and Redman ends up being the guy that I got to work with so that we can throw off this event. And Sierra wants to go around and visit New York City. It's not happening. I'm working. This is what I do. This is something I've dedicated my life to. That's always been a problem when it comes to personal relationships, whether it comes to having girlfriends, whether it comes to being able to spend time with my kid. I have work to do. I'm always going to have work to do. From this point forward, now that I've put this equipment in, now that you, me, and Tim are sitting here doing this, I always have work to do. There's never going to be a time that you guys are going to call me and I'm just kicking it. I'm just not doing nothing. There's going to always be something that I got to do. From this point, I got to keep recording. I got to keep editing.
Like, just pick a day. Like, you come over this day, you know, I'm trying to get something going on.
Tim. That's Sunday.
Hey.
That's today. My life can't be spent sitting on a couch, getting high, getting fat, and dying. That's what Pops did.
I always say this, and you'll always hear me say this, and this is especially about your children. You know what I mean? Make sure the people that you love know you love them. Period. You know what I'm saying? You just,
Yeah.
I mean, the people that are there for you in your corner, and there's only a select few. I'm not talking about, you know what I'm saying, the whole world, but I'm talking about those that are in your circle enough to be in your heart. Make sure that they know. See, first of all, Sundays is y'all's day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So technically this is some bullshit. Yeah, technically it is. Because, hold on, wait a minute. Because this has always been where y'all was watching movies. Y'all used to always watch movies sitting on the couch. So even if you just got a small block and you cut that Sunday evening off, you know what I'm saying? 6 on or whatever, that still gives you plenty of time during the week to do everything that you got to do. And plus, keep your daughter close.
I'm not debating that you're not right. My point is, though, 26-year-old, I need you to sacrifice a little bit of time in the beginning. Once we get on a proper schedule, once I start having things already in the can, and once I can sit back and breathe myself, watch my own TV show.
Did you talk to her about it? Did you talk to her about it? Did you explain it the way you explaining it to us? Did you explain it to her like that?
You know what? Even if it was me, if it was me, dude, I'll be like, look, the best way to succeed in a plan is to schedule it in from the beginning. If you schedule it in amongst chaos, it'll damn sure be imprinted. You know what I mean? When everything is just rolling smoothly.
Okay, now I'm actually able to speak to both of you at the same time because one, to answer Timmy, no, I did not. No matter what time I take with her, if I'm able to schedule 2 3 hours tops with my brothers on Sunday night, that does not take away from the time we could spend together before and after that.
Got you.
So she needs
true.
to sacrifice her damn self. She's an adult woman now.
Well, that's not even sacrifice. That's just realigning.
Still your baby, man. Still
3
your
hours.
baby, man.
And
Still
I
your
can
baby.
spend, my point is though, Tim, is I can still spend time with her. It's just going to be 3 hours minus 3 hours. Right. You know what? When we came here that first Sunday night, no matter what she thinks, she could have been here with us tonight. I mean, we broke bread that first night. Right. We were eating pizza together. She was here. The dog was still here. There was no problems. So if you want to see everybody come in, wait for us to actually start our session, and then leave and help me out with the dog, cool. And then you come back and we'll do, I didn't make her watch footage or anything. So I don't make her.
Hey, this dude fit right into our communication show, right?
Definitely.
That's why we're doing it. Because we're communicating.
I think I communicate idea. I think we should just meet on Fridays, man. Forget it.
Yeah, I think you got to change the day because we're cutting into her time.
Yes.
Her time was already there.
Yes. I say
So
Fridays is perfect, man. Ooh, we was banging on that Friday. That's when we made the thing.
Okay,
and we still did a show tonight, man. We still did a show tonight, man.
I'm good.
This is good.
I'm good with rescheduling, but as far as our conversation was going, okay, I am not looking to take away from people I love, okay? I'm not.
Right.
Now, there is a chance.
We never do, but it happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Now, look, what I'm saying to you is I'm not just going to shut myself off from family, but there's a chance and I'm going to end up having to do something on a Saturday night. And you know what? I'm not coming through, bro.
Right.
So there's going to be times my daughter's going to need to deal with it. When I have a show, if I cut a good show on Friday with us,
right,
hopefully I can process everything and be done. I would love to be done by Saturday when we end up hooking up for family night. I would love that. That would be awesome. If I could just start when we leave, I just start processing and we don't have so many cuts that I have to make. That's another thing. Right. If I could come, if you, me, Tim, and Howie could sit down on a Friday night and we chop up everything and it's smooth and we don't have a cussing and too much joking for just an hour. Once you guys leave, I start processing that footage and that's good to show. And then come Saturday, I would love for the family to watch it together. Our cool. Hour.
What communication means to us, right? Or what do we feel about communication? Is it?
I'm still trying
to.
Is it overrated or is it highly needed?
If you don't plan on dealing with nobody, I don't see as needed. I mean, if you plan on being a hermit and living in a cave, then it's not needed. And I basically live in a cave.
But there's other people that live in your cave with you. There's other people. So therefore, you're going to need to communicate.
There's all the people that I need to talk to every day. Like real stuff. Like, honestly, if I need something done, I call my daughter and she'll do it. Hey, man, my life is weird, man. It's weird, man. Like, I really don't talk to nobody outside of my kids. And, y'all now, we talk.
Yeah,
it's not even like how we... so that's why I be trying to attack that whole thing about, not hiding and stuff like that, man. Because really, man, I'm really messed up as far as that, what you said as far as like not wanting people or not even caring or wanting to be around people or want people to see. So, I mean, this is helping me out, man. Because the more I know about that other side, I just don't want no part of it.
Now,
so I'm correcting myself.
Now, here's the thing. As far as what you were saying, we started crossing over to other. That's what I'm saying. There's so many different spectrums of communication in our world.
Right.
Okay. And we started crossing over how we started communicating with our kids, each other, the world. That's what I'm saying. We can't just come to a communication conversation and expect us to cover the whole spectrum because we had different communications with different people. And that's why I was saying just starting with us as three of us, and then that expand into us with our homies outside of us, because I want to just talk about the fact that mental health wise, regardless of how we deal with our kids, regardless how we deal with our women, regardless how we deal with our work atmosphere, mental health wise, we could find a lot of healing with just in our brotherhood. Brothers talking to each other.
Camaraderie, right.
We can't talk to our children the way we talk to each other. We can't talk to our women the way we talk to each other. Right. Why we are not being one another's therapist pisses me off.
Well, that's because, man, we all come from, the generation of guys, man, who thought it was weak to express your feelings and to communicate things, everything was better looking strong and cool, nothing was genuine and nothing was authentic, down to perceptions and, theories and whatnot. So I think we all suffer. And I also think, man, y'all know this isn't going to be new, but communication is the most important thing in the world. There is nothing more important than communication, man, when it comes to coexisting with other people. Communication is so vital, man. It can start wars or stop them. It can make somebody love you. It can make someone hate you. It's deep, man. And I really think that we're going to have a really good time, talking about communication.
That's when you said as far as how we feel about communication, I wanted to take the opportunity to just focus it on talking to one another, because you and me did not always have good communication.
Right.
And then you and me had no communication. And then you and me had accelerated communication. Right. And then you and me had unbreakable conversation. So there was levels just with us.
Right.
And now that we have Tim in our life, it's like, okay, for me, you and me have never, like, even though we have other homies, other club brothers that we are close to, we've never really brought them deep into our personal you and me conversations.
Right.
And right now, I feel like Tim might be the first person that we have ever brought in to a very personal brother breakdown. You and me, we don't talk about pops around other people.
Right.
We don't get into the trauma that pops caused us around other people. When we do that, it's usually a private conversation. And now we got a brother that we actually can talk about. He stole my stereo to sell it for crack. And I don't expect anyone to understand that. Like I would expect Timmy to take that into his head, because that was his father. He knows that was my father who stole my brother's stereo to go smoke crack. And that's different for me. So I feel like when we come to the table for why brothers don't talk, like, because there's brothers out there that grew up together. We did not have the privilege that other brothers have. Right. And they are not going to be able to get as deep as I think we can actually get.
And that's a different type of communication too, man. Like, that's a whole nother conversation on communication, because on one hand, it's like y'all had each other, me and Howie had each other. You communicate with each other. How do you get over having somebody that you're supposed to be communicating with didn't even know that they was even existing to communicate with them? So I mean, it is a lot of levels of that. A lot of levels.
You know what, man? There's so many different stories that's going to come back, man. And it's funny because when you sit up there and you shared that story, the feeling that I got was when Pops tried to choke me out. When he tried to choke me out, man, and just the look in his eyes, and like I was really his enemy. You know what I'm saying? And he really wanted to snap my neck or what have you. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about Go Down, Weybridge, one of those?
Yeah, most definitely. Right there on the steps. And I don't even recall.
It started on the cot, and they got to the steps.
Yeah, I don't even recall why.
You wanted to go home. You wanted to go see your mom. You was trying to leave. He didn't like it. And
yes,
you guys hit chest, and then he just
Yeah.
He just yoked you up.
Yoked me up, yoked me out. And look, I'm like 15 years old, man. I'm like 15, 16 years old. I don't remember how old I was, but I was like, nah, I'm ready to get, kick rocks. And I just remember I got that feeling when you said that, you know what I mean? And there was a couple different times where he did that just to try to intimidate and put fear. And I've just never been a fearful person. You know what I mean? I've always been a revengeful person. So, I was dreaming of ways to, come back resurrected. But anyway, just those feelings, man. And just that, somebody that's supposed to be in your life to lead, like when you hear Tim up there with the shorties getting them ready for the bath time or shower time or what have you, and making sure that they need to do what they need to do and make sure somebody's there to oversee them and protect them, and that's what I do for my children. So just in the lack of not having that makes me want to make sure I provide that for my children. And that's something that I've always tried to do. So again, these things, when we communicate these things, hopefully these things will, reign at home to somebody else. And they can actually hear it and feel it and be able to identify, because we all got a similar story to tell. Only thing is we got to tell it. That's the only way that it's out there.
I be wanting to hear the stories. That's, because for me not to even know y'all, or either one of y'all, or him for all that matter, I didn't know y'all. So, I ask the question sometimes. Sometimes I be thinking like it's stuff that y'all, y'all might not want to talk about, so I might not even ask you. Or it might be times where y'all don't want to talk about it. Like, you never know what nobody's feeling is. So, I don't bother me not to talk about it or even say anything about it. I want to get to know y'all, and keep our lines of communication open and get to see who each other is, individually, without having to always associate ourselves with God. Like, we don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are our own people, so we can't let he passed down to us, make us act no different towards each other. So, I just want to get to know y'all and not associate y'all with him, because you're not him. You just came from him, like I came from him. And I'm not him. I got a lot of this, but, I want to know y'all.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing for sure, Tim, and I know Tiger can tell you for sure. You and me might be tied for the most disruptive of the bunch. I've never had an issue disrupting what he did. When it came to seeing him break rules, I call him out. And I tell everybody else. If I saw him talking to someone, I told everybody. He couldn't trust me. He could trust, no, you know what? It's not even trust. There was things that our father forced Tiger to keep to himself.
Was it 10 years ago, bro? Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe it was longer than 10 years ago. I don't remember, but we had Pops hemmed up. And
definitely. That was 20
years ago.
20 years ago.
Where we said we wanted to meet our brothers. Mm-hmm. 20 years ago, we hemmed him up.
It was before my 25th birthday.
Yeah.
Before any of that happened.
We hemmed him up, and we was like, look, we'll give you a pass. All right? I'll give you a pass. I'll let you back into, the family's life. You know what I mean? You can, come through, whatever. Only thing we want to know is who our brothers is. We want to know our brothers. So me and bro approached him in this fashion. And it was mainly bro that approached him because at this time, I was through with him. I was through. I was like, I had kicked him to the curb pretty much, and I would come back and forth. Like, I would always come back and just, give him another chance. I would always give him another chance. But, this particular time, we was like, hey, you know what I mean? We want to know who our brothers are. Bring us to them. Who are they? Let us know their name, whatever. So he was living. Now, all this time, he's been married to Diane. Each morning, he would leave Tyrone's mom's house, his wife, and would go pick my mom up for work and take my mom to work. Okay? He would pick my mom up from work and bring my mom back home, and then he would go home. You know what I mean? He was my mom's source of transportation for a couple years. The transportation guy, what have you. So I get fed up. I say, look, this what we gonna do. 6 o'clock in the morning, we get up. We put the plan in motion. You know what I mean? We out there. He pulls up. We get him. You fired. You know what I mean? You know, so, and I say I do all the talking. You fired. You know what I mean? Service is no longer needed. You know what I mean? I tell him my whole point. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's time that, you know what I mean, you stand up and be the man that you are. You know what I mean? And you let it progressive in a positive way, blah, blah, blah. Because, see, he was sneaking, seeing my kids and stuff like this through my mother. You know what I mean? He was sneaking in the back door, having access to my kids, and I couldn't take that. I couldn't handle that. And I couldn't call the shot what was happening at my mom's house, so I just go straight to him. And since you creating problems for me, I'm going to go where you live at and create problems with you, with your wife and your family. So he leaves. He pulls off. He's out of there. It's 9:30 in the morning. I mean, about 8:30, almost 9 o'clock in the morning, because I was supposed to be on my way to work. I call work, tell them, look, I'm going to be a little late. I got some family issues. I go over his house, and I never go over his house. Never, ever, ever do I go over their house. So bro's there, look, Pops comes, okay, and Pops got his, he goes in the house, right? So he gets out, he pulls his cab up, and, you know, he's trying to hurry up and get into the house. You know, me and bro trying to cut him off. I'm trying to cut him off like, hey, what's up? What's up? So the whole time he's telling Diane, he's looking in Diane's eyes and like, Diane, I love you. Don't believe them. They're just trying to destroy what we have.
Why you always got to do is cry?
He just did, man. It just made me so sick. And
you're not an actor, and you're trying to replay his cry scenarios.
This how I remember.
I can do it better than you, though.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear you.
Okay, so here's how every time he would do it, it would be like, I can only do it with Dame. Dame, you don't understand. You don't know what I have to do. You don't know how much I love you. You don't understand. The Tiger doesn't understand what Bro, I'm an Oscar winner, dude.
Yeah, look, I start taking it real personal. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to take his head off now. We got the, you know, off with the head. You know, forget all this bull crap. He goes in, grabs his weed, runs back out, bulldozes his way back out, runs in the cab, and pulls off down the street. So as he's pulling off down the street, I'm picking up little bricks and stuff, throwing them, busting the cab up, and all this kind of stuff. So
Tiger skipped a part. And I got to make sure the part gets in before we get to the why don't throw rocks. So what you missed was...
Oh, the negotiation.
No. Probably. I don't even know. What negotiation?
Isn't that... You gave him the ultimatum about the brothers that night too, right?
What happened was we're in Tyrone's apartment. That's when we had said, sit down with us, talk to us, we'd be good. He was talking to Tyrone, completely ignored us, and then he left. He left and went to their apartment. He had not took off in the cab yet. He went to get his weed and all his stuff, right? Now, me and you had a sidebar conversation, and it is you telling me, get him out their apartment so you, me, and him can talk. So I went to Diane and his apartment door. I knocked on the door. He comes to the door. I'm like, hey, can you just come out here so we can talk? And I can't remember nothing he's saying, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, I'm up. I'm not a morning person. I'm irritated right now. I've heard a lot of bull crap. Come outside. Let's talk about this. Let's just work this out so I can go home because I'm pissed off right now. He ends up coming out of the apartment as me and him are talking. Tim, here's what's happening, right? I have Pops in he's right in front of me. I'm looking at him. In the peripheral of my right eye, I can see his cab, okay? Pops can't see his cab because of the way we're angled. And what I notice is Tiger is crouched down at the back of his cab collecting rocks in his hand, right? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm about to be an accomplice. He's about to do that in with a handful of rocks and just blast him. Now, I can actually see Tiger rethink this and put the rocks down. So I'm like, okay, he's calming down. And then all of a sudden, I'm not lying, Tim. This is not a lie, okay? Tiger starts doing some ninja creep up stuff because he drops the rocks. He starts doing this crouch down ninja creep up. He's about to come behind Dad. It's hand on. Hand combat, baby. Period. I'm like, oh, man. All right, old man, just go. Just go. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, get in your cab because you about to die. He jumped in the cab, right? He jumped in the cab because he turned and looked at it, and he saw Tiger spring up into action. And he runs, and he jumps in the cab, and Tiger then grabs the handful of rocks he had, and he just starts chucking them. He's hitting the cab. He's hitting window. He's getting everything. Yeah, I can remember all the times you come to me like, I don't know why they think I'm so hardcore and why I'm so rough. And I'll be like, yeah, bro, because you pretty rough.
But I've been working on my image. I've been working on my image, dude. You heard what?
Okay.
I've been working on my image.
You heard what Timmy said.
Wait a minute.
They say I know the guy. I really don't know, dude. So it'd be like, when I was around, I'm getting to know everybody and see what everybody is. Then I got to hear y'all stories and y'all tell me about what's going on. So that's how I eventually end up knowing anything about him at all. So,
I think it was a blessing, man, because, I've noticed the type of father and, that you are, man. And, just trying to be the best that we can be, man. And that's, maybe we'd have been slackers if we was, I don't know, man. I always tell my kids, because it's funny, Tim, hey, this is going to be a good topic. This is going to be a good topic, I think, for all of us. So do y'all ever think or wonder about how your kids would be if you were not there? Like if you took the same...
Nope, I don't even want to think about it.
If you take the same route as Pops did... You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't in their life, you know what I mean?
Again, since we're talking real,
yeah.
I can say for sure, as far as my view, because I don't look at myself as exceptional in any way.
Right.
I'm not.
Oh no, you're dad, you're a father, man. You ain't supposed to. I mean, I'm doing this because.
Well, you know what? Beyond being a father, I mean, mentally, I am not suited to be a father for sure. I'm not. But the one thing that 26, and my point is, even though I'm not suited to be a father, spent 20 years in the club, strip club, different area in this world that has been detrimental to this world. I remember, I want to say Sierra was 13. I think she was 13. She had a best friend. And they was real tight. They was real close. They was about to start high school together. And she actually had opened up and told me that her and her friend, they planned on dropping out of high school at 17 and they were going to start stripping. And Chris Rock saying, keep your daughter off the pole. Never met so much in my life at that point. And my daughter's now 26 and she's paid more than I've ever made at any job. And she's working, she's not on the pole. She's not at a strip club. So I feel like at least I kept her off the pole. I kept her away from the lifestyle that me and her mom both lived. And that's how we came together, was through that life. So I kept her off the pole and she had to figure out another way. And she did it. And I'm proud of that.
That's good, man.
But ultimately... Yeah, as far as being a father, I don't think I did anything exceptional. I don't think Pops had to do.
But that's not that wasn't the question.
Hey, but don't put yourself down like that, man.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's like if your kids is grown and they still around you or they coming around you at grown, that's their choice. You did something right. You was there, man, because everybody don't just come over there and be with their kids. If you wasn't a good dad, man, your daughter wouldn't be there.
I can understand when you say what you say, Tim. I get what you mean when it comes to my mom, for sure. I was going to be with my mom, and I was with my mom until her final breath, period. No questions whatsoever. When it came to Pops, I saw him once, right when they got him out of the apartment to the hospice, and I never saw him again, ever again. And so when you say, my kid's still here, I know she's here because I love her, she loves me. I know that for sure. But I don't know. I can't tell you what my daughter, when I think about my daughter being around, I also know there's damage. There's damage I've done to her. And she's still here because I love her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but I feel like there's a lot of conversation to have with the fact that no matter how much we love our children hold on to us because of us being the ones who are here for them in this world. Me and Pops fist fought. It is what it is. I'm going to fight you. You're not just going to make me a victim. I'm not going to be a victim.
Right. So with y'all's children, everybody getting away from the question. That wasn't my original question. My original question is, have y'all not ever wondered? You know what I mean? I got that because that's why I said the poll thing. So do you think
Hell yeah.
What?
I changed the poll. I take credit for that.
You took the poll out of the equation.
The poll was never going to be an equation ever again.
Right.
Blue.
You hear that? You hear that, right?
Look, no, there was no. As soon I didn't realize, my daughter had a very. She fantasized about it, and I didn't realize that it was a fantasy. It wasn't even like I'm gonna just try to get by best I can. Like me, her mom, the other women you've known in my life who've been there, right? Yeah. We built a fantasy world. And she was looking at it like, this is glamorous. We're going to be on stage. We're going to have the biggest heels. I did not realize what we done. And when I heard it from her mouth is when, that's pretty much the time when I stopped too. Because at the same time, she also asked me, do you think you'll ever stop messing with sluts? I was like, that's a question that you only hear from a child. Wow. And then what was crazier? I told her mom that she said that. First thought that came back, she's talking about me.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean she's talking about you?
Right.
She's talking about the other girl. She's like, no, she's not. She's talking about you gonna stop messing. Anyway, point is, when I realized we had glamorized the club life to her for so long, because I remember when I started thinking about it, like I was going to swingers clubs and doing the whole art gallery thing there. I'm casting people in there in the middle of having sex. And Sierra used to always be like, can I come with y'all? No, you can't. No, you're staying here with my mom tonight. We have adult work to do. So later on, when she started getting older, she wanted to be a part of things that you can't even come around. You can't even look at on videos.
Right.
So she wanted to be a part of it. And her plan was to drop out of high school at 17. And she was going to go ahead and become a stripper. And no, she ended up going to college and
beautiful.
She has a job because I freaked out. Like,
and that's you too. That's you too, Tim. You think it's all definitely a positive contribution to the kid's life. They're definitely in a better place with you than without you.
Good or bad, yeah. I mean, if it was good or bad, I definitely think my daughters would have been different. I don't even like what I gave them, so yeah, they'd have been different. They probably would have been better.
They would have been better.
Knows?
They would have been better without you.
Yeah, they spoiled. My kids are spoiled, man. Real spoiled.
Hey, Tim. You know why I asked the question? Because I think that all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Pops was never in my life. Always made me a go-getter. Always made me on the move. Always made me out there trying to get it, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And since I've been there, my kids are so comfortable, man, that they just don't move. You know what I mean? They have no ghetto. They have no hustle.
And that's
they
why
have
I
no.
say that too about the kids being there, man. Like
Yeah.
your kids wouldn't be that comfortable to be around you if you was a piece of crap, man. If you wasn't about nothing, man, your kids wouldn't be there. They can go get that somewhere else, man. You know, we got girls, so it's daddy issues, man, all that stuff, man. So
Right.
you know, you had to be somewhat of a pretty decent dad for them to still want to come around you. That's that's what I mean by that. Like you really had to put an impact on their life for them to still be there. For your daughter to be 26 and still crying about daddy the other day, you know, that just says a lot of how you were. To me, that says a lot of how you was as a father.
Yeah, me too.
So,
me too, because that's something that she looked forward to, and that's something that what I mean.
Yes.
She misses.
Yes.
So, when bro
He's complaining about it. He really misses.
When he
So you
listens to
can't
that,
never beat up on yourself and say I was a bad dad. All my kids come around me, man, and I got a lot of kids.
yeah,
They all come around me.
me
So,
too, man.
you know,
Me too,
I would
brother.
never be like I was just a horrible dad. You know what I'm saying? Never.
Me
I
too.
would never even think of myself like that. I don't even like the word dad. Dad is Howard Hill. I'm a father, man. I'm a father. You know, and that's the title I give myself because a dad is just your sperm donor, the cat that, laid up with your mom and, that's who a dad is to me. A father is that cat that beat it. The kids is 30 and they still coming around you, man. When I seen you and your son pull up, your son driving you out with your son, that speaks in volumes, man. It speaks in volumes. Because, nobody wants to be around somebody that they don't like.
Right.
I mean, you're stupid if you sit around with somebody you don't like.
Yeah. No, that's
Or you don't
that's
have
real
no.
talk.
I mean, it's for real. If you don't have no type of respect for somebody, you're not gonna come every day and try to be around them.
Right.
So,
That's a donor.
That's why.
And I call Pops a donor. I say he's a donor, not a father or a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a donor.
Yeah, that's lower than the dad because the dad still come around.
Yeah, dad still,
Sometimes.
is involved in your life. You know what I mean? In some capacity.
So you esteem more than, I mean, for y'all, like, I ask y'all this all the time. It's like, y'all's around, dude, man. Like, even, stay nice with him or live with him or whatever. Like, y'all ain't turned out bad. Like, I don't know what y'all did a few years ago. Everybody has what I did when I was younger. And, we sit around and we got stories for days over that. But, from what I can see, everybody pretty decent fellas, man. Like, everybody is better than what this guy was. Just by the view. You know what I'm saying? If you break it down to what you really do with you and your family, it's like, okay.
Right.
What you see is right.
It shows we from good stock, man. Just, the responsibility just
Well,
wasn't
we
taken.
learned from the bad stock how we didn't want to be. We didn't want to be that way.
For sure.
We didn't want to be that way. I'm not going to be the type of father, man, where, hey, man, don't get me wrong, man. I was heavy in the streets, man. And it was times like, that's why I was real big on, bro, when I'm telling you, make that time to spend with your kids, man. I was one of them old money shelling pops, man. I was one of them dads for a minute, man, where I didn't spend no time with my kids. I just always buy them stuff and, do stuff for them. And I thought that was okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I always had to work. I was always busy. So, but now when they got older, we started talking and we could tell the stories of what it was and why this happened. They telling me that I wasn't the greatest dad that I thought I was. They telling me like, hey man, Dad, you weren't there this time, man. And it don't be like all the time. It just be a time that they probably was really needing me there. And I wasn't there. So that's why I was really, when I said that about, make that time, man.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't that. It was from experience.
Yeah.
From experience, man. With these girls, I got all girls. So, when you deal with your daughters, that's a whole different thing. I don't know how it is to deal with boys, but girls are something else, man. They really need that love and that nourishment from their dad. You know what I'm saying? Am I going to be on that daughter like, do this, man, do that? That ain't womanly. We don't do that. With our daughters, you know what I'm saying? We don't do that. And I had six. I got a lot of girls, man. encounter because I got biologicals and I got stepdaughters. You know what I'm saying? That to this day, that I consider them still my daughter. I'm not that type of guy that enters somebody's life and just exit their life and not deal with them again. So
yeah, no, I feel you, man. I feel you, man. There's enough love to go around, man. Enough love, brotherly love.
It starts where you come from. It's always a reason why you don't communicate or don't want to communicate. In my case, I thought it was just me pulling away from people, when in actuality, I inherited this. I inherited it. And I gave it to my kids. You know what I'm saying? So not only did it get passed down to me, but I passed it down to my kids. And that's what's crazy about the whole thing. That's why I said it sounded like that Howard Hill syndrome, because it was inherited. I used to be around people and talk to people, and I'm a funny dude. Now I can't be around nobody. I go out of town and go to Walmart. I will go far to go to Walmart or go out to eat. I go out of town. I go to Cincinnati or Cleveland just to go out to eat. Like, so I know that it got bad. You know what I'm saying, with the communication part. I have that.
Right.
But I know where it comes from.